Hey there, welcome to Rave CultureCast, your weekly guide to the EDM community, music festivals, and more, hosted by me, Emma Capotis. Each week, I'll be covering everything from dance music culture, industry news, trending topics, and festival tips, advice, and reviews. You can also expect to hear stories from ravers, artists, business owners, and more. Tune in every Wednesday for your weekly dose of peace, love, unity, and respect. Hey guys, welcome back to Rave CultureCast, your weekly guide to the EDM community, music festivals, and more. I'm your host, Emma Capotis. Welcome to the podcast, fam. We have a big episode in store for you guys. I'm super pumped about today's guests. We have Party Shirt on the podcast, which insert air horns here, seriously, because this was an unexpected surprise, and I'm so pumped to have them. If you guys are living under a rock and you don't know who Party Shirt is, you're going to learn about them today. They are a house music DJ duo. They are also TikTok viral sensations. I think they have 20.8 million followers on TikTok. They have really, really cool series they've got going on over there. But today you are going to learn all about their story. We're going to talk about how they got started in music, where they're headed with their sound, what's next for that project. And then, of course, we'll talk a little bit about content as well, how they even got involved with TikTok in the first place, and sort of all of the positives and negatives that have come out of that situation. So it's really, really cool. These guys are so down to earth, super humble. So I'm so excited to dive into their story. But before we do all of that, you guys, I appreciate you being here. Thank you for listening today, wherever you're listening from. I wanted to plug a couple quick things because we've got Electric Forest coming up in a little bit here. So if you guys missed last week's episode, it was a full-blown Q&A to help you prepare for the festival. We're going next week. I have a free camping festival checklist. If you guys want to download that, I will leave a link down below in the show notes. But with all that being said, I want to ask you guys a question. Have you ever been the victim of theft at a music festival? Because it seems to be happening more and more. I keep seeing stories about people having their phones stolen, wallets. It's happening to a lot of people, but if you have had your valuables stolen at an event, then you know that safety is your number one priority, as it always is mine. So why have you not invested in a lunchbox yet, you guys? Okay, lunchbox is the only bag I wear to events anymore or festivals. It's the only thing that will give me peace of mind. I literally am not worrying about my stuff at all because I have a lunchbox. So if you haven't heard of Lunchbox, they sell a whole line of anti-theft bags. So they're most well known for their hydration pack, but they also have their snack and sling pack, which you guys can think of more as your hybrid fanny packs, all that feature anti-theft features. So every single part of these bags has been designed by ravers to give you the ultimate festival experience, which I love. So the hydration pack is made out of ballistic nylon, which is cut proof. All of the bags have zipper clips on them to keep your pockets hidden on the back side of the bag, so there's no easy access. They really have thought of everything. Not to mention the easy water refill system, which is my personal favorite on the hydration pack. I don't know if you guys have been in this scenario, but you get to the front of the water refill line and you see people with other bags that have the screw-on pack, and they're fumbling around and they can't line up the bladder to screw on the top. That literally used to be me at EDC. They don't do that. You can fill your hydration pack from the side. It's a super simple pouch that you slide on and off the top handle. You're one and done, very quick and efficient. So you guys can save $11 off your lunchbox, which is a huge deal, using code Capotis, my last name, Kapotes. Or if you want to try the snack and sling pack, which I love as well, I wear the snack pack to all of my shows in the city. You can use code EMMAK to save $5 off. So code Capotis, save $11 off the hydration pack, or code EMMAK to save $5 off of the snack and sling pack. I will link all of that down below. It's lunchboxpacks.com. And again, one purchase can save you hundreds of dollars. It's an investment, but how much would it cost to replace your valuables? You know what I mean? So just wanted to shout them out before we dive into today's episode. All right, with that being said, our listener of the week. So this was super special this past week. If you guys are in our Facebook community or in our Discord, then you would know that I was just running a contest. I wanted to come up with a nickname for our audience because it's just something like unofficial, but I've always wanted to call you guys something, call our family something, and I couldn't think of anything. So we did a quick little contest. We had 2 rounds of voting. People submitted entries, and the winning nickname for all of us is Ravecasters. So you guys are all my Ravecasters. That was submitted by @StrangeGraves. It was inspired by spellcasters, and I loved that her idea behind it was that there's a special magic about this community. So I thought that was really cool. So Strange Graves, I'm hooking you up with merch. I've sent you a DM, so we'll get you all hooked up. But thank you so much for your submission. Thank you for being a part of this community. Super excited about that. And I'm pumped to have our Ravecasters here. So with all that being said, you guys, let's dive into today's interview with Party Shirt. Again, super honored to have them on the podcast. We have a great conversation about house music and TikTok and all those things. So please join me in welcoming Party Shirt to the podcast. All right, guys, welcome back to the podcast. So today I have 2 special guests. I have Nick and Xavier, best known as the DJ duo Party Shirt. You guys have for sure seen their content on TikTok. They have a series where they test out and debunk myths and life hacks, do food reviews, all kinds of crazy shit, all with a great sense of humor and with their music intertwined into everything as well. So today we're going to talk a little bit about their story, where you guys got started, where you're headed musically, and then, sort of how your lives have changed since blowing up and everything. So welcome to the podcast, Party Shirt. How's it going, guys?
It's better. Thanks for having us, Emma. We're excited to be here.
Of course, yeah. And do you prefer to be called by nicknames? Because I know you go by X and Ivy, so you let me know.
Yeah, that's probably easiest just because that's what
my parents don't even call me Nick.
No, okay.
Yeah.
I was wondering that.
Yeah.
So
Someone
professional.
Nick and I'll look, I'll be like, they'll say it like 4 times. I'm like, oh wait, they're saying my name.
Yeah. Okay, perfect. We'll keep it casual. But yeah, I mean, first off, how is life right now? Like, what's going on in your world this month?
Great. I mean, this month, so we got a show this tomorrow.
Yeah.
We actually got 2 shows tomorrow. One, we're playing at a retirement home in Norwalk, California. We just thought that'd be fun to do, like, because there's so many typical boiler room type sets. So we're like, well, what about if we do it in a different setting?
Mm-hmm.
You know, get an older crowd moving and grooving that you normally don't see at these, type of sets that go on YouTube and stuff. So we reached out to a bunch of different retirement living centers in Southern California, and then we started planning one with this. So we got that tomorrow morning, and then at night we're playing a show at Venice West. Because we're going to be playing Wonderfront later this year, and sort of, call it the Road to Wonderfront, where they're getting artists, that on the festival to host these smaller shows. So we're excited. 2 shows tomorrow.
Yeah, it's going to be a good one.
Oh, that's awesome. I can't. The retirement home is going to be wild. I'm like, how are you prepping for
a
set there?
So fun. I'm so stoked to see the reaction from everyone. That's going to be interesting. Yeah.
That is so great. Oh, I love that. I have a soft spot for older people or the elderly, so I think that's gonna be awesome.
It's gonna be a lot of fun. I'm excited too.
Oh hell yeah! Well, I definitely want to go back and talk about your story, but I'm just curious, right off the bat, did you ever imagine your life where it is now, or did you ever picture this being your world, or is it totally nothing you could have ever dreamed of as a kid?
It's a mix of both.
Yeah, because we're definitely dreamers. We have crazy dreams, and so. And we do we wake up and we kind of do whatever the fuck we want. We'll set our mind to something, really go after it. So, I mean, it's obviously, it happened overnight practically. The growth was insane. But I mean, we always knew we were going to do something.
That's it. And we always knew we were going to pursue entertainment in general full time, because there's some people who, do entertainment just as a hobby thing, and they keep it as that. They love it. It's sort of their relief, whether that's stand up or DJing or whatever. For us, we've always been okay, we want to make this our full-time thing. And for that, there's got to be some level of just delusion that, you got to make it an entertainment, no matter what that be. So, but at the same time, it is still you pinch yourself sometimes, I can't believe it's all happening. But then lastly, on that tangent, we still feel like we have such a ways to go. So it's when,
totally. Yeah.
We're not satisfied.
Yeah, it's not like, oh, we've made it now and now we can. It's like we haven't. This is just a start, you know. And
oh, for sure. Yeah, you're just scratching the surface now. With all your dreams and visions for things, are you guys pretty in sync on that, or do you find like you have different dreams?
It's shockingly because they're just so out there.
Yeah,
one of us pulling the other in, like, all right, no, maybe, but no, we build off each other. Like that's the manicness, just sort of, you know, it's the back and feeds each other and sort of helps craft like that vision. Yeah, so we're very in sync.
We're just crazy.
That's good. No, because even with like music, I want to chat about that too. Like even the fact that you both were interested in pursuing music as well is fantastic. Because if one or the other of you that was like your real goal and dream, I'm sure it would feel more like a chore for the other. But it sounds like, you know, how did you first initially connect with each other? I guess let's start there.
Yeah, well, the thing is, we connected on music. So Party Shirt from day one, it was supposed to be just music, and we, you know, we always love making videos, but that was always going to be a vehicle to promote the music because we got together in 2016 because I was at USC and my roommate John Connolly grew up with Nick, and they were childhood best friends, and so you know, like every one, I wanted to get into DJing. I'm like, hey, I love this. This looks like a lot of fun. You know, I've always had a love for music. Don't really know where to start. He's like, hey, you should meet my buddy Ivy, who, you know, he's in music production school. He's been doing this for years. Just meet and see what happens. And then, so we met the summer of 2016 and immediately we're like, hey, let's do this together. So it's sort of, you know, that was just a foundation, but like what we've done musically has changed so much and it's come back to where we started. So, which is funny, but we've always been in sync of like, okay, this is what we got to do, you know, because we did tech house and that was more like that Dirty Bird type of tech house. Yeah. And then as the pandemic hit, we decided to make something more pop, you know, disco pop, more palatable to an online audience, because it's hard to sort of just promote tech house without going out there and playing it.
Yeah, we weren't playing any shows either.
Yeah, you know, and then so we did this disco pop song that did really well on TikTok. And then from there, we're like, hey, we should do like be an alt rock band and start singing.
Oh, shit.
One, yeah.
So, and then, direction. And then after that, then the TikTok sort of took off in terms of content. And then we've just come back to now. We're like, we just love dance music. And that's really true passion. And we want to get back there. And, you know, we've always had dreams of playing Ibiza, playing, you know, massive and all that. So, it's like, that's what we started this project for. And let's get back to the original vision of it.
For sure. And were you guys into, like, was it something where like you went to a show or like you were into like festivals or something like that? Or just like musically, were you just like a fan of dance music first?
Yeah. I mean, like I had like freshman year of high school back in like, that was probably 2012. I was super into like indie rock. And then like I transferred high schools and then just became obsessed with like EDM. And then X, I'm sure, was the same way growing up.
Yeah, it was just, I'd always like had a love for music and always was on sort of YouTube playing music in the, you know, constantly. And a lot of Australian pop music is actually house music. So that sort of worked out. But it wasn't until I moved here in 2015 and I went to this festival in Arizona. And, you know, that had been the first DJ show I'd gone to. And I was like, holy shit, this is so cool. And then I'd gone to Coachella the next year and saw Zed play. And then I was like, all right, I want to be a DJ. This looks really, really sick. Because I'd like, back in Australia, I saw Tomorrowland and shit. And I was like, you know, I want to go to Tomorrowland. Like that's on the bucket list. But I'd never been to a DJ show or really been to a club where there was like for the DJ. So it was something you sort of got to experience. And then once you do, you're like, oh, this is, I mean, I'm sure any festival head would say the same.
Yeah.
It's like the first festival and you sort of catch the bug.
Oh, I was just thinking that in my head. Yeah. It's like, it's either people do it like passively and they're like, cool, I got that out of my system, or you're like a full blown addict, which is what we are. It just happens that way.
It's been way funny. Like I'll never forget that like first festival season I had. I went to like everything. I was like, oh my God, I spent so much money that like April to summer. I was like, wow.
Yeah. It's never, that's literally me now. I'm like 31 and I'm like, what other festivals can I go to? Fill my calendar with festivals. It's so good.
Up all the time too.
What are your thoughts on Coachella too? I'm totally curious. I actually haven't done Coachella yet.
It was, I mean, like, it was good. I feel like the first time I went, there was a lot less people, you know, which made it nice. You had some space to get away. But I mean, like, it's a great festival. I don't know why people talk shit on it, like, or say like, oh, it's like, obviously, like, it has all sorts of music. You can make it that way if you want, but it's such a cool place to, like, hey, I want to go see like Michael Beebe like here, and then right after I could go see Doja Cat or something. I think that's so cool. Like, it's just very palatable.
No, the
like,
lineup's
festival.
just incredible. Like, just for the, you know, diversity in artists and genres, you cannot beat Coachella, in my opinion. You know, there's better festivals for like tech house, there's better festivals for rock. But if you just want sort of everything, I mean, it's either Coachella or Lollapalooza, just because they have the budget to get all these artists, especially so many legacy artists, that I would never go and buy a ticket to go see him, but they're at the festival and I've wanted to always see him play.
Holy shit.
Of course, it's commercialized. There's over 100,000 people going to it each weekend. And of course, you're going to get the influences there, you know, the proximity to LA, and just sort of, you know, how Coachella, because like Ivy was saying, he lives in California, he's been going for years. I knew about Coachella before I even moved here because it's just so picturesque. You know, it's like hard to take a bad photo there. So it's easy for influencers to go, they get this and that. But a lot of I don't think a lot of the hate it gets is fair, and people just like to hate on stuff. Because you know, you can go to Coachella and have a shit time, but like, if you know you're there to try and enjoy it, it's just a great festival. You know, it's really well put together. Food, drink. You know, I've got one thing is the only complaint would be just there's so many stages, so it can be tough. Like, you're at this stage and you need to get to this one, but it's like a 15-minute walk. Like, you're getting your steps, and it's pretty hot, but you know, it's so beautiful. So
no, it looks amazing. I definitely like was guilty for years of being the person, especially when I first got into EDM and I liked the more mainstream stuff, like didn't realize like the cultural relevance of it, I would say. And then in, you know, years, like I would say the last 2 years, looking at like the Do Lab and the Yuma 10 and more of like the underground, like house and tech house, I was like, holy shit, I've been sleeping on this for so long. So now it's like top of the bucket list.
They get a lot of good hair. Like, I mean, I've been wanting to see BB, Peggy Gil, and the Martinez brothers for the longest time, and I got to see them in 2 days.
It was crazy.
Yeah, and ridiculous.
And then they've got a lot of tech house also on some of the bigger stages like Sahara, like and Disclosure. I always wanted to see Disclosure. You know, got to. It's just so, you know, it's a lot of those acts that again I'd probably never go spend $100 and like go plan to go see him at a concert.
Right.
But you know, just I can check out into the set and be great.
Yeah, for sure. And I feel like they all bring their A game for Coachella. Definitely.
Exactly. If you're if you want to see special guest artists, there's nothing. Coachella's, you know, it's not so.
Well, you guys named a lot of people too. I'm curious, who are you inspired by, or are there any artists that you look at that you really respect their career or like the moves that they've made, and you kind of like aspire to be like that?
Yeah, I mean, Michael Beebe. I love Michael Beebe because I've known about him so long, like before he blew up, and then he like came out with Hanging Tree and it just went like bananas. Like just really cool to see like how fast he blew up in the scene like so quickly. It was just like he was like the biggest thing since sliced bread, like 3 months after that came out. It was fucking wild. So I'm like, I love that guy. He makes phenomenal music. He's making music, traveling the world with like the sickest DJs, like legends. Like,
a great little crew together and his label and sort of
he's doing it right. You know, like the whole like brand. He's really created a brand.
Exactly.
He's on every single house and techno page. If you go on like the techno pages or whatever, it's so many clips of Michael Beebe. I'm like, I don't know if his team is doing this or what. But
we were talking about it yesterday. Yeah, we're like, who does this? Because I'm sure it's like somewhat the team, but then like some of it, like how like meme pages, they'll like post each other's because it's like obviously it's a good meme, and they're like, oh shit, I need content. You know?
So,
never really know if
BB performs.
They don't even know like if they're posting an ad or not. Like I remember I used to run Twitter pages and we'd post ads, but like the other Twitter pages that were scraping it to repost wouldn't even you know, and they would just like post these niche inside jokes and stuff like that, where it's just you know, once a couple of these pages start putting people on, where I'm sure some of it might be paid, then it just sort of spreads to everyone. But other artists, I mean, like the Martinez brothers, we
love them.
You know, and their career has been more of a slow burn. Fisher like was an early inspiration for us just because how he combined content and music in a way that, because a lot of the tech house sort of stuff, you know, that like the popular artists are more like, you know, emo kids type of thing where they don't really show their personality, and he came in and really made it fun, you know.
Yeah.
So that was sort of interesting to us as a way, because tech house especially is a very pay your dues, you know, DJ for 10, like probably the biggest tech house artists, their age is probably 10 years, 15 years older than the biggest artists in a lot of other genres.
Yeah.
Right. Yep.
More, honestly, you know, like it's not unusual to see a 50-year-old like DJ in tech house. I don't know that many 50-year-old DJs, you know, in sort of like
dubstep or
exactly. It's like a lot of kids, so and like future, you know, bass and all that type of stuff. Like, so it's dope that there's more longevity, but then it's also like, well, there's a very pay your dues culture.
Yeah, for sure. And now that you guys have, you know, you're releasing songs, you're playing shows, like how is your sound developing? Like how would you describe it, and what are you going for?
I'd say I was like it's like, I don't know, we make a bunch of different stuff, but I'd say it's like a mixture between Jamie Jones, Daft Punk, and Disclosure.
That's a great way to describe.
That's like, because like we want to like Daft Punk's career and Disclosure's career so special, because it's like they're such like great producers, and like other people recognize that, like even though they made electronic music, like big time like traditional artists like songwriters would come to them and be like, hey, let's make a track, like let's like produce the soundtrack for Tron, like let's do like all these things that are like so far beyond just like releasing music, like actually having like, you know, like purpose, like beyond fucking just shows, like movies. I think that's the coolest thing, like scoring films, that's so awesome, like working with like Grammy nominated artists, like Daft Punk did Nile Rodgers, like that's like the coolest shit to be able Pharrell, to be able to do that stuff. I feel like that's like so cool, like to be a part of like culture like that.
And then just sort of their music, like generally, it's like it's not even the tech house that you're hearing right now, it's almost like experimental tech house, because you know, it is sort of one of them things where if you're just trying to chase what the current sound is, then you're going to be always behind. So we're trying to create you know, our unique sound where you listen to it and you're like, okay, this is a party shirt song, you know, fitting somewhere within that dance genre. But you know, it's like I think tech house isn't even the right term. Like it just incorporates so many different things. And you know, again, we'll make an indie rock before this. So it's like, you know, we never to one sound, one genre. We're always like, you know, sort of Diplo, how he's sort of like grown and adapted to changing sounds. That's truly impressive too, because it's easy to be a DJ, rise to the top of your genre, and then find it hard to get out of there, because you're gonna, you know, hurt your audience, lose a lot of fans, and maybe embarrass yourself by having a song that doesn't really perform well, you know. So it's tough. But then you know, there's massive DJs, I don't really want to say the name, where it's like they were the top when that genre was big, but now that genre is out of style, you know,
screwed.
You know,
yeah, that's so true. I mean, I love what Diplo's done with Higher Ground for sure. And like cultural is what I think of with him, because he kind of like dips into different cultures, and it's really, really cool to see the direction of his career as well. And like now that he's doing stage takeovers too at festivals, I love the curation that they have with Higher Ground, because they're picking some pretty cool like up and coming house artists there as well. So that was definitely a good example.
Self-titled one was so good, and it was like experimental too. Like it was like experimental tech house, sort of Rufus to Soul-esque, and that was very cool what he's doing. And then just before that, he released a country album. So it's like, I love that he can sort of do.
True.
I love it.
The country is the only one where I'm like, I don't know if I can do it. I'll try. I'm like a music lover, like period. But no, there's ways it can be done. That's for sure.
We'll get you on.
Oh, that's awesome. Yeah. And I mean, I want to chat about where social media plays into this, because I'm super interested, obviously, to hear your take on it. But I guess just to go back to where TikTok started, like you said, that's something like music came first and then that came about. But what was the conversation like when you first decided to start the page and start creating content?
Well, we were promoting a song and we were like, at the time we were like, okay, like TikTok is like the biggest app right now. It's so popular. So like, see if like we can like promote a song properly on TikTok. And then like we did, and it blew up. It did really well. And then it got us like a small following of like 5K. And we were like, well, we had made like SNL type comedy sketches before just because we liked making content like that. So we were like, I mean, we already make content and this app is only growing. So we should probably, let's just keep making content simultaneously just to build like another social platform, I guess, and just have another like line to, you know, because it's like, I feel like it's just like your music and Instagram these days, you know, for like artists. So we're like, okay, like, let's just have something like on TikTok, you know, and then like, yeah, the rest is history.
Yeah, no, 100%. I mean, it's just, you know, a lot of DJs were probably hesitant to join TikTok. They're like, that's a kids dancing app. And now you see more and more. Because it's just like how forms of communication and media change. Like there was MySpace and Facebook and then Instagram, now it's TikTok. Like, and you don't want to be the last person on any of these platforms because there's so many, like there's so many big DJs that grew out of, you know, Instagram, you know, and like, they won't, you know, people won't want to put their hand up and say it, but like a lot of these viral videos, like we're talking about, you know, like even Michael Beebe, I don't know if he would have grown as fast if there wasn't Instagram. Maybe that's why before, especially in house and tech house, you know, it was a slower burn because there wasn't a way for them to have a great set or a great song and really have that viral moment where they start getting known. Sure. I mean, Fisher is probably the biggest example of someone who blew up because of his content. Great music as well, but, you know, it was sort of his personality where you go to him because, you know, you're going to get a performance. Yeah. And so, you know, I hope, you know, now that we're refocusing back on the music, we're hoping that TikTok can sort of do the same for us and show that, hey, you know, there's the faces behind the tracks and the music.
Yeah, for sure. And there's this conversation happening right now as well, where I think it was like Halsey made a TikTok. I don't know if you guys saw that, where she was like, the record label is like forcing me to make X amount of TikToks to release a song. Like, have you guys experienced anything like that? Or do you still feel like you're just making content like that you still want to make on your own?
I mean, that whole thing, it's like, you know, number one, is she telling the truth or not? I don't, like, when I do that and they like put their like manager on speaker, I'm like really? Like you maintain a relationship with this person after you post this? Like that doesn't feel authentic to me. But let's just say it is true. So, you know, they're complaining that they have to promote their music. And because that's all TikTok is, a new way to promote music. Like before, were they crying about having to do interviews and PR and appear on this radio show? Why is TikTok looked down upon? Where it's like, I can't do that. But, you know, put me on it. Like I would, if as an artist, I would rather make 10 TikToks
it's way easier.
Travel the country.
Just gonna say.
So, okay, sorry, you got to make a few TikToks to make millions. Now I do understand you're an artist and this and that, but at the end of the day, like you make millions from it. You entered into this record label contract or whatever. It's not like you're not seeing anything from it. At the end of the day, look, don't be with a label and you can release whenever you want. That's it. It's as simple as that. We're not with a label and we can do what we want. So.
It's like even in EDM, a lot of it's just like single track deals, unless you know, I don't know. It's a lot of the time, you know, like you have a song they hear and they're like, all right, let's just sign this song. Like, you know, it's like, oh, like a 5-track deal or like a 2 album. You know?
No, that's so true. I mean, I think I come from a similar place as you guys, where it's like social media has changed my life and like was able to quit a job and do this like pretty much full time. And so when I see other artists taking advantage, like John Summit always comes to mind. Like he's fucking entertaining as shit. And I love that he's so active. Like he's like responds. And like as a fan too, I love when people are like interactive. And then you see some artists saying like that social media is a bad thing and they don't want to be that active. And I'm like, I feel like it could only help amplify things if you are active on it. I don't know. That's my opinion.
No, I 100% agree. I mean, it's just, you've always got sort of laggers in technology adaptation. And, you know, it's like, if you sort of feel like, you know, you like, let's just say you blew up on something else and then there's this new, you know, behemoth and you sort of late to it, you're going to be like, oh, well, I don't want to do that. That's, you know, childish and this and that. But if you're smart, you'll sort of adapt and just realize it's just another promotion vehicle to get your music out there.
Yeah, that's so true. I mean, what does your day look like now? Like because obviously you have a lot of different things going on. Is there even a typical day?
There isn't.
I mean, yeah, there's
Yeah.
no people there. It's just so like, I don't know. Like one day we'll go to a retirement home to play a show. One day we'll have Benny Blanco over doing a factory
Yeah.
like or Dylan Francis.
No, and it's
That's
just
so funny.
making music, or
Yeah.
you know, some days in there we chill. It's just all like,
Yeah.
and then there's no time schedule, right? Like we could be working till you know midnight some nights, and other days it finishes at 3, and it's just all sort of ad hoc and
Yeah.
Yeah. Do you prefer to work a certain way though? Like, do you like to have like a filming day, or do you feel like you kind of just post on TikTok or film when you want
we
to?
do like filming days. We'll tell our filmer like, hey, come over tomorrow and we'll like knock some content out. So we've been,
Okay.
I mean, for the most part, it's like, because a lot of the time too, we'll just like think of something spur of the moment and we'll be like, hey, let's film this tomorrow.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
That's not, you know, it is sort of as the ideas come, and especially because with TikTok, a lot of it's so timely and topical that like if you like it sort of doesn't hit the same. But yeah, I mean, I think as we get older, we'll probably be more regimented and all this. But right now, it's just all you got to take the opportunities as they come, and sort of, you know, you can't be too rigid.
Yeah, for sure. And what would you say to somebody? Because I get so much like input on TikTok, and people are like telling you how to blow up or how to go viral and all these things. Like as a creator myself, I'm on a lot of platforms, and I found that I've grown like slowly and steadily. But do you guys recommend like going all fucking in on TikTok? And like you hear people say post 3 to 4 times a day. Like, do you think that's a valid response?
I mean, at the start, we were posting 6 times a day, sometimes more. So
Oof. Yeah.
you know, I think the platform has changed too, and it's got a bit more saturated. So it's probably not as easy to grow these days. And, you know, maybe there's some fatigue, right? And obviously it's not as popular as it was when everyone was home. So it's like I can't say do that and expect the same results. But I think TikTok is a platform that rewards volume, and that, you know, it doesn't hurt to post more. I mean, after a certain point, probably 20, you know, sure. But like
consistency too. And just like,
exactly.
you know, they learn your schedule. They know when they should be checking your page. Like, and it's like, yeah, if you just keep posting, it's gonna take, like, I can't tell you when, you know, but it's going to take off, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I mean, I think I love that you guys have series as well. Like, would you say this series kind of changed things for you? Because I know like having kind of a series in mind too, people like relate to that.
No, because people are going to follow you for your next video, not the one they just like. So you got to give like, hey, if you like this, there's more of this. But if it's just a funny viral video, it could get 10 million views and you might only get a few thousand followers, because it's like, what are they following for? You know, because if they just see this, what they're going to be like, that's a one-off funny viral clip, you know, sure, but like, you know, what's the future reward to follow this person?
Right. What's the follow up to that? Yeah, exactly. What have been some of the biggest like opportunities that have come out of growing on TikTok in the last few years?
We did this My Humps remix. So that was like sick to get an official remix for like Black Oak, because we've been sitting on that remix for so long, and then it just all sort of came together. That was dope. I mean, we've been on, you know, Access Daily.
With Maria Lopez.
We've worked with some great brands too, like Dream. We've never done a collab where we didn't dig the brand, you know. So, I mean, some of the tour, it's just all like, this is so much going. It's just hard to say. Coming out now, and you know, just there's been some awesome stuff, honestly.
How do you feel that now? Because I'm sure like obviously a lot of people want to work with you, and you want to be able to focus on your music as well. So what like feels good to you guys right now, and how do you decide like who you're going to partner with, or if you're going to collaborate with somebody musically?
Honestly, we just hang out with them. Like if we vibe with them, then we're like, let's do something fun, because it's so like tough, like just being put in, like forced into a situation. You like have to like figure out work and like a friendship at the same time, you know. So it's like, I love just like whenever people are like, oh, I want to like have you, like, you guys should work on stuff, I'm like, I always am like, I want to hang out with them first and just like know them, you know.
Yeah, that's good. Feel the energy out. Yeah.
Makes it easier after.
Good point. I mean, and on the flip side of things too, obviously, like you said it could be a little bit harder to grow now, but what have been some of the challenges that you guys have kind of faced in the last few years just with growing such a huge social media presence?
Yeah, one of the things that we're going to be up against now is that people are going to be like, well, they're just TikTok trying to be DJs. You know, they blew up TikTok and they're just trying to find a way to capitalize on that, like some TikTokers have done in music and acting and all that. And it's like, look, we were doing music literally for, 4 years. Oh, Ivy even longer, but Party Shirt had been for 4 years before we even like had any success on TikTok. So, and then that, and still now we have this massive following, but it's still a struggle to promote the music right because people know us for our certain type of content. So it really is like we're starting again. Like people think, okay, well, now they've just got it handed to them and they can do whatever and they can put out, high quality product and barely do nothing and just, they're going to have thousands of people come. And it's really not like that at all.
Yeah.
So it's going to be we're going to be successful with music, be successful DJs. It's going to be a long road, a hard long road. And we're going to get there. People are going to say, of course they did. Well, they had 20 million followers. It was just easy for them, So
it's like, going to watch that story. Everyone's going to be like, no, it's not.
Come to the shows now and you will see that we have a long road.
Exactly.
But, so it's up against sort of number one, the stigma of TikTokers trying to be DJs. And then, at the same time battling, well, of course they're going to be successful because they, and it's like,
Sure.
It's not, like just come see us now so you can see for yourself that when we're headlining the festivals, it wasn't always like that, regardless of the 20 million followers.
Yeah, I think you guys will be, you can tell when people are authentic and where your intentions are at. And that's what I always tell myself at the end of the day. I'm like, your intentions. And if that's like what you're projecting in the world, like you're going to get that energy back to you. So yeah, I have no doubt in my mind. I mean, I'm not calling any festivals out, but I've seen events, take time slots away from artists and put like branded segments in their stages. Like that to me is like pushing like the line with everything. But no, I mean, you're throwing freaking shows at retirement homes. Like it's going to be a fucking good time.
I know. We're on a journey.
What is one of your shows like? Like if nobody's ever been, like how would you describe a live experience for you guys?
They're fun. I mean, we're just like, they're really fun. Obviously we play tech house, but it's like, we also love like, we'll like throw in like some random like 90s banger too, like just like EDM, straight like real house music, or just like some like maybe like a D&B song, and just like, and then we're always just like, we're very animated up there, not like crazy animated, but like
we're like one guy on all the Instagram pages, but and like you said, so throw in disco and this and that, so it's like, no set's ever the same. We never have a set list going into anything. We just sort of play to the crowd and feel out sort of the vibe of the room and all that. And, with everyone to have a great time. And hopefully they, like Ivy said, we'll find some, we'll mix some classic tracks with some, lesser known ones, with some, popular stuff. It's just all, it's really like very, just a mix of everything.
Have a good time. Yeah. Oh, I love it. Wait, so where are some like places you want to play, whether it's like either just venues or festivals, or like you said, Ibiza, something like that?
I mean, DC-10 and Ibiza would be insane. Printworks would be insane.
I want to go to Printworks so bad.
I forgot there's this massive festival in Italy. It's like under a bridge or something. I forgot. There's always sick clips from that, but
that'd be sick.
But it's
obviously Brooklyn Mirage would be insane. I want to go there so bad.
I was there last weekend. That's like my venue. That's what I go to. Yeah, I went to Chris Lake. Yeah, I just saw honestly, this is not being dramatic. Chris Lake's show this past weekend was the best music I've ever seen, period. It was fucking fantastic.
It was just the sickest thing ever.
It's insane. Cool. I've just never seen, I mean, Chris Lake's visuals like were pretty, that was the first show I went to. What am I going to next? Oh, the El show is coming up this summer at the Brooklyn Mirage.
The El ones are always so
That's
cool.
Another,
yeah.
We love El.
Yeah, they're amazing.
Yeah, they're awesome.
So I have that one coming up. I'm trying to think what else is this summer. Lane 8. I'm a big Lane 8 fan. He's not at the Mirage, but
yeah, we saw Lane 8 for a bit at Coachella. Love Lane 8.
He's great. I mean, I think it's interesting too to see some of these artists who create these experiences, because I know like at his shows he does like the "This Never Happened" theme where you can't like record anything, so they like cover your camera when you go in.
That's so cool.
Yeah, so it's like you have to be fully present. He doesn't want any like recording or cameras at his shows.
I love that. That's really cool.
So it's like how can you get like creative or like whatever feels good to you, like create that experience. Like Elroy to me is just so over the top. It's cool to see them bringing it to the States now too, because that's a Spanish brand. So
exactly.
Yeah.
No, I've been doing stuff in Vegas and all that, so that's always good to say. But I mean, we want to play like the Shrine, we want to play Coachella, we want to have a residency in Vegas at some point, we want to like all just the sort of traditional things that, when you sort of get started, like you just love to play. And I mean, there's more and more, I feel like tech house, I forgot the name of the one in San Francisco in September. It's like Portala or something like that, but they got like Chemical Brothers playing. They got Peggy Goo, they got Lane 8's playing too. They just got some really great sort of electronic acts that it's gonna be dope. But
have you guys been to if I went to the first one last year, but ARC Music Festival is like the new house and techno festival in Chicago. It's Labor Day weekend. I'm going back for the second time this year, but check out their lineup too. It's
we'll be there next year.
Chicago birthplace of the South. I mean, movement last weekend or the weekend before.
Sick.
So it's growing. It's I mean, like this house music, like we've spoken about it on the podcast before, but it's not even like a return or like a resurgence, maybe that's the right word, but just it's really, really cool to see like all of these subgenres of house music just like absolutely popping off right now. I love it.
So
it's incredible.
I know
we need more, but and any tips or advice for like upcoming DJs or producers?
It's an 80% a mental battle. You just gotta do it. You just gotta show up. Even like it's like some days you'll just like get into the studio and you'll just make complete shit, but it's like at least you were there, and it's like, hey, you just go back the next day hoping that something happens, and it will. It's like like I always tell this someone, it's like making music is literally like telling a painter, like, here's a blank canvas, just paint me a masterpiece right now. And they're like, all right, well, like I need some sort of like inspiration, so it's like you just kind of like fuck around with shit, and then hopefully you get a good idea and you can really develop it.
Do you guys like to work on a song? Like, do you typically work on a song for a really long time, or do you have some of those days where you like knock something out super quick?
I went to Lightning in a Bottle, and I love going there because you always come back and just like make such good music. Like the week of, literally like came back, made a fucking banger in like 40 minutes. Like I was like,
nice.
Some songs take
take a minute.
Just depends.
I feel like the quicker you get your idea out, typically the better I feel like you get the idea across, because it's like so fresh, and like the longer it takes, you kind of almost forget what like the original idea was,
I can imagine too, if you like listen to something for months on end, that you'd get sick of it. You just be over it at some point.
Half of it, I'm just like, fuck, I want to stop listening to this. I like, it's so funny too, because like I'm going to Lightning in a Bottle, and I'm like at the bass stage, and I'm like, these sick fucks are in the studio listening to this for 7 hours some days. I'm like,
dude.
Just I'm making like crazy, like just wild stuff. I'm like, these guys are sickos right here.
I can't even imagine the other studios. No, there's this, I don't know if you guys know Murata. I think he's like maybe 17 or 18. I could be wrong. He's really young, and it's like the heaviest bass music you could ever imagine. Like it's like devil music to me. I can't do it, but I say, and then he's like up there on stage, and he's just like this little like kid in my eyes, and you're like, what the fuck is going on here?
It's so funny.
It's bass music is a whole another genre and world. I love it at sometimes, but I can't do it all the time. Don't catch me in a mosh pit. It's too much. Well, I have basically like one or two last questions for you, but outside of music and creating content, is there anything like people wouldn't expect you to be into, or any other like hobbies or things that like really gets you excited that you guys do?
We love fashion. Like we love thrifting. We just love clothes. Like you should see our closets. We have like so many. wild. Like we go thrifting every weekend, like go to the flea markets. What else?
What's the key to thrifting? I don't think I've ever been thrifting
Honestly,
before.
patience. You got to go there.
Yeah.
You got to really, like, you got to look through like, if you want to find good stuff, like, obviously, sometimes you get lucky where it's like the first shirt you pull, like, it's a cool one and you love it. But it's like, you want to get good stuff, you really got to look through the racks.
Yeah.
You got to.
Okay. Do you find that stores are like boosting up prices now and things like that because more people are into it, or?
Definitely, at least for the vintage stuff. Like, when we went to the Rose Bowl flea market, it was like you couldn't find a t-shirt like under $300. It was actually like ridiculous. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
no. That's a festival ticket.
I'm like, okay, that's like a car payment. Like,
That's wild.
Yeah, the good vintage stuff, like the rare ones, have gone just through the
Yeah. Oh, that's crazy. No, I'll have to go. I mean, obviously in New York, there's probably so many.
Yeah, no,
so
great
out there,
definitely. Yeah. New Jersey, I'm not that sure about. I'd have to check that out. But thrifting. Okay, cool. Very interesting. And last question for you guys. What is the big vision? What is next? What are the goals years from now?
Keep on release right now. I mean, just keep on releasing, promoting the music, putting that at the front of everything. And then, I mean, the big vision is like be one of the, legendary house acts, and like, a Daft Punk type of act. I'm not going to say we're going to have the same exact career as them. We've sort of gone a little different, but like that level of cultural impact is really what we, envision to have. Yeah. Not just in the house scene, but the music scene in general, and just sort of culture, that's combining with music and fashion and sort of what we do in entertainment and food and everything, like as cliche as that sounds, that sort of Kanye West type of encompassing cultural relevance and, effect.
I love it. Well, I mean, literally, like, just take a moment and look at what you've done in such a short amount of time. I don't know if you guys do ever pause to think about it, or you just like go.
On the next.
And everything still feels so normal to us.
It does.
Like, that's a good thing. That's good.
It's really different. We still live in the same apartment. Like we get to sleep in now. That's pretty much it. Start work whenever we want. Like,
flexibility. That's the difference, right?
Yeah.
Oh, I'm like I said, it's super inspiring. I think you guys are fucking awesome. I love what you're doing, and I hope to catch a show. I guess. Where are you playing, or like, where can people go to, connect with you, and two, find out about like new music, upcoming shows, all that?
On Instagram's probably the best spot, at Party Shirt on Instagram. We're always posting updates and letting you know when shows are. You can also check us out on TikTok, but if you're looking for updates around music and shows and all that, Instagram's probably the best place right now. Or go to partyshirt.com. And then there's some updates on there as we release music and upcoming shows, and you can buy tickets to see us at Wonderfront there.
Awesome. Thank you guys so much. I can't wait to see you playing Coachella one year.
You'll be there front stage.
Oh, fuck yes. X Ivy, thank you guys so much. Everybody else hang tight, and I'll be back with some news. All right, you guys, I hope you enjoyed that episode with Party Shirt. Again, it was so awesome to meet them. Super humble guys. And it's just like, it just blows my mind what they've been able to build in a couple years. And it also just goes to show, like, even though you have this massive audience, like, there's still so much they want to do, so much they want to accomplish. They're dreaming really big. So I'm super excited to see where their music career goes next, because if they've had this much success with their content, like, I have no doubt in my mind that they're going to like absolutely pop off with their music. So go support them, go stream their new music, give them a follow on TikTok, Instagram, do all the things. I'm going to have links to all of their profiles down below. So tell them Rave Culture Cast sent you. But super excited. Hopefully I'll get to see them live soon. With that being said, guys, let's dive into our Rave Culture Cast recap. I do have quite a bit of things here for you, but let's like knock out some lineups here first. So we do have the Project Glow Philly lineup. Again, this is only the second iteration. We had Project Glow in DC in April, which was great. I have my vlogs up on my YouTube channel. It was a really good time. So now it's going to Philly. It's a 2-day event. I am selling tickets through Insomniac. So if you guys want to use my affiliate link, feel free to use the link down in the show notes. But I mean, really, really fire lineup. We've got Allison in Wonderland on here. We're going to have a special back-to-back with A-Track, Black Tiger Sex Machine. That's a big one. The Dom Dalla back-to-back Green Velvet. Very appealing to me. We've got my girl Honeylove, Elenium is on here, Jai Wolf, Said the Sky, Martin Garrix, Tin Liquor, I'm super pumped about, Choi Boy, Zomboy. So I think this is a really solid lineup. Firefly also dropped their lineup. I think this is the September 22nd through the 25th. This is a camping festival in Delaware, so all my East Coasters, this is a good one. This is a multi-genre festival, which is pretty cool. I'm not able to go this year because I have a friend's wedding this weekend, but I still haven't been out to Firefly, and I do want to try it at some point because I feel like this was one of those events that even when I was like in college and right out of college, a lot of people would go to this because I'm in New Jersey. So I'm so close to it. Hopefully it will happen someday. But the headliners are Halsey, My Chemical Romance, Green Day, and Dua Lipa. Honestly, fire. Outside of EDM, those are all headliners I would want to see. And then let's see who we have here dance music-wise. You've got Zedd and Porter Robinson. Guys, Avril Lavigne is on this lineup. I would actually die. Griffin and Seven Lions. Fire. You've got Rainbow Kitten Surprise. All Time Low. Easily one of my favorite artists of all time. Who else do we have on here? Cold War Kids. We have Girl Talk, which if some of you have been around for a minute, Girl Talk was the first DJ I ever saw live, really in college. Like he would just do these like crazy mashups and mixes, and it was always like the most wild party, and he did like college tours. So that was the first like DJ I honestly ever saw in college. So that's wild that he's on here. You also have San Holo, Ella Stream, Loud Luxury, John Summit, and Elderbrook. I didn't even look at this lineup. I'm like, holy shit. Wax Motif is on here. Clooney. This is really, really good. Phantoms, Shipwreck, Whipped Cream, Lucy. So you still have bass music in here too, which is pretty solid. Vanessa and Recno. Who else do we have? I think that's it. There's a lot of names I don't know. Oh, Zingara is on here. We're going to talk about her in a second. We love her. Wednesday, Tsunami. I don't know if it's Cosmalia or Cosmalia. I think that's what it is. So I honestly think this lineup's pretty fire. Not going to lie. If I could go, I would. In other news, we have the Groove Cruise Las Vegas lineup. So this is happening the same weekend as Forest, June 24th through the 26th. So this is sort of like a road to Groove Cruise kind of thing. Jeffrey Sartorius is headlining it with special guest Gene Farris. But you've got some staple artists that you'll see on Groove Cruise, which is pretty cool. So that's going to be taking place in Vegas. And then some other announcements. More Kismet has their debut album dropping on June 24th called Universe, which is amazing. So we want to support them. Go download that album. Very excited for all of their success. And then I wanted to announce Excision's scholarship winners because I mentioned this in the podcast earlier, but yeah, they came together and they had this basically like a contest where they would be giving each artist $10,000 along with a whole bunch of other sponsored products and things like that. So they did announce I think it's 10. I'm pretty sure it's 10. So we have, and I don't know all these artists, some of them I do, but we have ZZ is one of the artists. I think, oh gosh, I hope I don't butcher these names. This one looks like Jasmine. We have Vastiv, I believe. Yeah, Vastiv. Danny Demand is the next one. Then we have, oh gosh, I'm going to say, oh no, RZRKT. I don't know why I can't read that name right now. Sorry, guys. We have Green Matter. Green Matter, I've heard of her before. The Arcturians. Our girl Zingara is one of the winners, which literally made me scream out loud when I saw her name. We had her on the podcast. She's a rising star, seriously. So to see her win this was really fucking cool. Mike Shift is the next one, and then 100 Drums, which I actually was also super pumped to see her because I've kind of been following her like musical journey in the last few months and have been seeing her name pop up a lot. So I think we're going to see a lot more 100 Drums as well. I've seen her name on a lot of lineups as of recently as well. So congratulations to all the winners. Super exciting. I think that's going to be a big, big deal in their careers. Okay, and then the last two things I have for you guys, Voodoo Festival did just post that they are not going to be taking place this year. So this is a music and arts festival that takes place in New Orleans, usually Halloween weekend, and it's normally like a multi-genre festival. I've honestly looked into doing this at one point. but they said they are going to be taking a pause in 2022. And that was over on the Festive Owl who reported that. And then last but certainly not least, I got to shout out Elro because we have the Elro like summer bash, which is like the biggest weekend. It's so insane at the Brooklyn Mirage. So I went last year. I think that was my first Elro experience, was last July, and it was one of the wildest things I've ever seen. Then I went to, they do a show almost like every quarter. So I went to the winter show. I went to the Elro tent at Arc Music Festival, and then Elro just did a 2-day event in the spring, which was really cool. So this is the summer festival. I cannot recommend it more. The summer one was my favorite out of all of them, just because of what they liked, how they transformed the Mirage and Avant-Garde. So the theme is the Far Row West. So it's kind of like this Wild West theme, which is pretty cool. It is 2 stages, 10 plus hours. They did just announce they're going from sunset to sunrise. So literally 10 plus hours of music. Absolutely insane. It's going to be on Saturday, July 23rd. Tickets are going to sell out for this, so I highly recommend getting them. And then the lineup. So we have special guest Paco Osona, going to be incredible. We have Clooney, Francis Mercier, Frankie Rizzardo, Honey Love, Jean-Pierre, back-to-back Tony Varga, Casey Lights, Love and Logic, Martin Eichen, back-to-back Joshua, mind blown, Mason Collective, Melee. I don't think I've seen Melee yet. I'm very excited. Nez, and then Shermanology special sunset set with more to be announced. 100% going. I better see you guys there. Go get your tickets. That's probably going to be like the show of summer. So I think that's everything I have for you guys this week. Again, cannot thank you enough for being a part of this audience. Thank you for listening to the end of the episodes. If you are enjoying Rave Culture Cast, I say it every week, but the best thing you can do is like make this your Instagram story and tag us at Rave Culture Cast. Come join our community. Like I said, the Facebook group and Discord got in on, being a part of our nickname contest. I always want to give back to you guys and do giveaways and things like that. I'm thinking of some more stuff as we speak. So definitely become a part of our community and come have conversations with us. What else is going on? You guys know the drill. Rate, review, subscribe, all that fun stuff. And of course, all the links from today's sponsors are down below. So thank you guys so much for listening. Go stream Party Shirt. Go listen to their music. And I will see you next Wednesday with a new episode. Bye, guys.